All right, guys. So this video is a continuation of the shorts. I did a shorts video today. Is it shorts or short?
You can say short.
What he said today about the importance of having enemies. So I discussed that I came out here to weed the weeds out of this tomato garden here. We didn't do gardening this year because I went away on an extended vacation and I came back and some of the tomato plants grew up and there were lots of weeds, so I decided to come out and to weed the garden. So I found some weeds that I started weeding out somewhere in this here. I don't know the name of it, but anyway, I started weeding them out and I realized that when I did that, the tomato plants started falling. These weeds were holding up the tomato plants. If you see here, I had to plant something. I'm pretty sure this has a name. To hold up
A stick.
I know it's a stick, but it's some sort of a reinforcement, okay?
Reinforcement
to hold up
stick.
The tomato, to hold up the tomato plant. Because when I take this away, I don't have a. Let's use this one. It's closer. When I took that, if I take this off, this little reinforcement thing, the plant goes flop, it falls. And that's because I rooted up the weeds that were holding up my tomato plants. It made me think about a couple of things, including the scripture that is found in Matthew 13, when Jesus shared the parable about the wheat and the tare going together. Now, in this case, the wheat would be the tomatoes for our illustration, and the tare would be the weeds that I rooted up, right? So my Bible is not cooperating with me, but basically Jesus was telling a story about how the servant planted wheat, and they later discovered that there were tares, weeds, right? And so the servant asked the master if he should weeded out the tare, which is the weed. The master said no, because if you weed out the weeds, right, you're gonna root up the weeds. Guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna root up the weeds also. We need weeds, or we need enemies. We need people that are going to help us to get to where we want to be. For those of us who are Christians, for example, to get to heaven. So it just kind of made me think about the importance of having what we might perceive as bad people or being in bad circumstances and situations. Sometimes God allows it to keep us strong, keep us focused on what not to be like, for example, or how to see the good in life, right? Sometimes we put so much focus on the weeds, right? But sometimes we can look into ourselves and try to see the good in what we perceive as bad. Sometimes not everything that we see as bad is bad, right? So we sometimes need the weeds in our lives to reinforce that good character that is necessary to be better, to do better, right? So I just wanted to just post a little short video that is longer than the shorts, just to reinforce that concept that not everything that we perceive as bad is necessarily bad. So then you say to me, Natalie, why did you root out the weeds? Because the weeds were still eating up the nutrients. Stick to what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, not that weeds are good, but sometimes what we perceive as bad. Might not be. Or sometimes you can try and figure out how to use what you perceive as bad for your good. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and let me know what you think about that. I mean, do you have maybe an experience where you thought somebody was bad and it turned out to be good, or you were in a bad situation, maybe at work? You know, you thought somebody at work was bad and it turned out that that's where you needed to be, so that you needed to go through that situation or be in that environment to be a better you. You know, let me know. Alrighty. Do what?
Link a previous video.
Oh, so he's saying that, you know, if you want to see my shorts, I don't know how to link it, but yeah, there's a shorts out there that talks about the same thing here, but in a shorter version. Okay, so subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.